Beneath the glow of a flickering moon, two figures stand face to face, their silhouettes outlined by a world caught between chaos and calm. On one side, the embodiment of radiant purity, her presence almost too bright for the somber night. On the other, a man cloaked in an aura of shadow and secrets, his gaze a blend of defiance and regret. These two, once sworn enemies, now find themselves bound by a single thread of fate. But what force could bring together a magical protector and a lieutenant of darkness? And what unspoken truths lingered between them, threatening to unravel everything they thought they knew? Long gone are the days of grand battles and cheering crowds. The girl who once stood as a shining beacon of hope now lives in quiet isolation. Memories of her former victories haunt her like whispers in the dark. She had once thought her purpose was clear: defeat evil and protect the innocent. But each victory carried a cost, leaving scars both visible and unseen. Among her memories, one name stands out: the Lieutenant of Darkness. Their clashes were legendary, each battle testing her limits in ways she hadn't imagined. Yet now, in the stillness of her secluded life, she begins to wonder if defeating him ever truly brought peace. Excerpt from her diary. The silence is shattered when she feels it, a familiar, foreboding presence. She follows the sensation to a desolate alley, her instincts guiding her to the source. There, slumped against a crumbling wall, is the last person she ever expected to see. The former Lieutenant of Darkness looks nothing like the imposing figure she remembers. His once commanding aura is dimmed, replaced by a weary fragility. "You shouldn't be here," she said sharply, her tone a mix of anger and confusion. He looks up, a faint smirk playing on his lips. "And yet, here I am." Before she can press further, he collapses, his body racked with pain. Against her better judgment, she carries him to safety. Why would someone who once embodied evil seek her out now? "I prayed to be strong." As he regains consciousness, his voice is weak but resolute. He speaks of a looming threat, a darkness that neither of them truly vanquished. It has grown in their absence, feeding on the chaos left in their wake. "You think I'd believe you?" she asks, her skepticism cutting through his words. "You don't have to," he replies, meeting her gaze. "But if we don't act now, everything we fought for will be lost." His desperation feels genuine, yet doubt gnaws at her. Could this be another of his schemes, or is there a truth she's unwilling to see? Their alliance begins on shaky ground, both wary of the other's intentions. The tension between them is palpable, each step forward weighted with suspicion. As they delve deeper into the mysteries of the growing darkness, she begins to see flashes of the man behind the shadow, the strategist, the fighter, and perhaps the regretful soul. Through their investigation, they uncover eerie signs: villages consumed by a malevolent force, whispers of an ancient power reawakening, and artifacts twisted beyond recognition. The darkness they once fought now feels like a mere fragment of the nightmare to come. One night, as they rest beside a dying campfire, he breaks the silence. "Do you think we were ever on the right side of this fight?" His words catch her off guard, the question striking at the heart of her doubts. "I don't know," she admits, after a long pause. "Maybe we were both just tools in a larger game." He nods, his expression unreadable. "If that's true, then maybe this is our chance to rewrite the rules." The idea lingers in the air, unspoken yet undeniable. Can two former enemies truly change the course of their fates? Their fragile partnership is put to the test when they encounter a small village under siege. The corruption is palpable, its tendrils creeping through the streets like a living entity. Kant, an Italian scholar. At first she fights alone, her magic flaring brilliantly against the encroaching darkness. But as the battle drags on, she falters, her strength waning. In that moment, he steps forward, his actions precise and deliberate. Together, they drive back the corruption, their combined efforts more powerful than either could have imagined. For the first time, she begins to see him not as an enemy, but as an ally. Their victories come at a cost. Each step closer to the source of the darkness reveals painful truths. This force isn't bound by the simple rules of good and evil. It thrives on their conflict, growing stronger with every battle they fought against each other. The revelation leaves her shaken. "Have we been feeding it this whole time?" she asks, her voice barely a whisper. He doesn't answer, his silence speaking volumes. They realize that their old methods won't work. If they are to succeed, they must confront not just the darkness, but their own roles in its creation. As they near the heart of the darkness, the tension between them fades, replaced by a quiet determination. They've come too far to turn back now. But just as they prepare to face the source, a figure emerges from the void. Neither light nor shadow, it exudes an overwhelming presence. Its manifestation sends a shiver through them, like a jolt of possible light. "You've fought well," it says, its voice resonating like a distant storm. "But are you prepared to pay the price for your mistakes?" The ground trembles beneath them as the figure's words sink in. Their journey is far from over, and the sacrifices ahead may be more than either of them can bear. As the figure's form begins to shift, they realize the magnitude of the challenge ahead. Will their newfound bond be enough to overcome the darkness, or will their past mistakes doom them both? Only the future holds the answer.